Martin Odegaard, teenager, completes Real Madrid move on the 22nd of January 2015. Norwegian teenager Martin Odegaard completed his move to Real Madrid. The 16-year-old signed a contract with the Champions League winners after passing a medical exam. It's a dream comes true, he said. It's a bit unreal that I'm here at the biggest club in the world. It's huge for me and honour. Odegaard will train with both the first team and the reserves, but play for the second string, who are coached by Zinedine Zidane. Real Madrid have not disclosed the details of the financial terms, but Spanish media report they've paid about €3 million, £2.3 million for the strong Godset player. Apparently he's getting about $6 million a year or something like that in terms of wages, which is... he's on 80,000 a week in wages, which is astronomical for a 16-year-old. He scored 5 goals and contributed 7 assists in 23 appearances for strong Godset. And a bit of a funny one, which actually kind of ties into this, because on January 21st, Man United flop Bebe admitted he thought the Premier League side were joking when they signed him for £7.4 million in 2010. United matched Vitor Di Gomaris valuation for the winger, but he only featured 7 times under then manager Sir Alex Ferguson before being loaned out to Besiktas, Rio F and Pacos de Ferreira. Now, Bebe told Marca, I had the contract with a termination clause of €9 million, and within 2 days there was a team that wanted to pay it, and I went to Manchester. I thought they were joking. I learned a lot with Ferguson. What went wrong? Well, I was alone. I needed more experience to deal with that. In Manchester, I was a child and was alone. I've grown and I am a better person, very different. Bebe left Old Trafford permanently in 2014 after signing a deal with Benfica, although the 24-year-old has recently been loaned out to Cordoba. Now, the reason why we mentioned that one, and yeah, there is a transfer that Mike Harneman has mentioned in the Skype chat. We're not mentioning that because it's not confirmed yet. But the reason why we mentioned Bebe's comments from a week ago is because hopefully the same thing won't happen to Odegaard. Now, 16, moving to legitimately the biggest club in the world, that's a huge move for him.
Definitely.
That is huge, and that brings huge pressure. Because at the end of the day, I mean, 80 grand a week for a 16-year-old is just, I don't agree with it.
But it's not just pressure. He hasn't even developed yet, so you don't even know what type of player he fully is.
Well, imagine he ends up as a Jonathan Woodgate, a permanent signal.
Yeah, or Francis Jeffers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, to be honest, like I know you're not a fan of looking at YouTube videos. I actually had to look at a YouTube video to see what this Odegaard kid was all about, because you know what? I was thinking, what, he's a Lionel Messi, a Neymar. Remember when we had the discussion last season or the season before about Neymar? Yeah. And you were very reserved about, Neymar has to prove himself in the Spanish league before you say anything. And I was screaming my bits off like, I've seen the videos, he's quality. Yeah. But I was expecting to see that type of player. Someone that's blitzing down the wings, tearing people apart, doing skills, doing tricks. You know, someone that was just beyond his years, skill-wise. But when I saw Odegaard, no disrespect to the kid, he looks very basic. He might be 15 playing with elder people. Yeah. That's great, but he looks very basic. Yeah. And that, my personal opinion is, how the hell can you tell what he can do?
Yeah. But then that's the thing though. I mean, some may say Real Madrid, he was linked to a number of clubs, but some may say that Real Madrid have bought him just so others can't. And we've seen that before. Yeah. Look at what's happening with Mohamed Salah. Yeah. Mo Salah was clearly bought on a grudge, if you, for lack of a better term, because he was basically bought to C Block Liverpool.
Yeah, true.
Because he's hardly played for Chelsea, so there's no other reason why they bought him. Because they wouldn't loan us Ryan Bertrand. So it's like, okay, cool, we'll see how you go. But for me, the thing is, it's that much for a 16-year-old, 80 grand a week. What's his next contract going to be? 150? If he does well, straight away 150. Because we know how Real Madrid like to splash the cash, even though it's not theirs. They like to splash the cash. So, I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of players moving for big money that early. He might be a wonder kid or whatever, but the fact of the matter is, as you said, you've got to let the kid develop. These moves happen way too early. before these youngsters have finished developing, and then they just get the weight of the world thrown on their shoulders.
Yeah. For example, yeah. Wenger came out and said about Coquelin, because everyone was talking about his recent performances, and I was thinking, look, he's 23, he's 24. You know what? When he first came, this is leading back into the Bebe thing as well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they're young. They come to another country. They're by themselves. They make a lot of mistakes. You know, they're missing their family. All of these type of things, yeah. And surely the same will happen to Odegaard. He's going to be around Cristiano Ronaldo's. Hopefully
he's around. He's going to be around brilliant players. I mean, Zidane. He's going to be around brilliant players. But is he going to get opportunities? Or
will he excel around them, or will he go within himself around them? That's the key thing. Because all it takes is a snide comment, bullying, whatever happens within these clubs. You know, to put a little player in his place before he can actually come to fruition. Yeah. And going back to what Wenger said about Coquelin, that I think happened to Bebe is like, you know what. When you're moved around a lot, you know, you lose your confidence, and you know, it's either you've got that last chance where you got to find it, or you know what, you're out of the club. Yeah. And unluckily for Bebe, that's what happened to him at Man United. You know, Man United are a club where they're looking for here and now. They want good players, and if you ain't performing, you're out the door.
But then I said it's one of those. I mean, the margins in football, we deal with such fine margins. And I said you've got youngsters with the weight of the world on their shoulders because of the way the clubs are going on. And for me, looking at some of the other deals actually. I mean, the Bebe thing saying, I thought United were joking. It's like that's a very interesting comment.
It's an immature remark.
In theory, yeah, but. If he honestly felt that way, it's like, wow, that was a ball out of the blue. I didn't expect that. But then that shows that he wasn't ready for the move.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready for that bigger move. I'm hoping Odegaard is ready for that move and he excels, but you never know. I mean, with youngsters, you have to have that support. It's like what Samir Sawney said in his PT Meets, in his Pitch Talk Meets with us on youtube.com/Pitch Talk. It's a case of young players need to be nurtured and supported, not just flung in and expect to defend for themselves. It's like, no. It's like you've got to be directed in the right way. Make sure you're around the right people. You get guidance. That's the word I'm looking for.
Have you got a question you want to fling out there to the social? In regards to Odegaard.
Well, it's a case of, hey, Odegaard, is it the best move for his career right now? That would be the question that I'd run with. Is the Odegaard to Madrid move the best thing for his career right now? Because any move now is going to be looked upon as a backward step, if not a sideways one. So he's gone to the top as his first big move. The only way it could be up, but it could be down as well. Fabian Delph extending his contract. Fantastic news for Villa, because obviously he was being linked by the parasitic media elsewhere. But the fact is, he's at least shown that, and he's also said, I'm a loyal person and committing my future will hopefully show everybody what type of guy I am. So it's one of them he's one of Villa's bright sparks at the moment. So it's good that, I think it's personally good that he's extended his contract with Villa. Flourish at Villa. Why not be happy where you're at and flourish there? You know what I mean? Kyle Norton. Swansea, I think Swansea have played that one very well actually. Good move. I think he could do well at Swansea with their passing style of play. I think he could do well, and he wasn't going to get ahead of Kyle Walker, Andros Townsend, them kind of guys there. So Kyle Norton will get regular football at Swansea. So hey, fair dues to him. I think that's a good move. But do any of the Skypers want to jump in on these moves that we're discussing now? All right, Jamie Bailey, have at it on these moves that we're discussing.
Yeah, Odegaard, good luck to him. Don't know nothing about him, so I'm not really going to make a mention to it. In terms of Kyle Norton, his only problem is not going to be his record, discipline wise, because I think that's mainly why Pochettino really sold him. His record as a Spurs player under Pochettino. There's been a few too many red cards or too many yellows, and that's what's lost him place at the Spurs lineup. I think he would have been a decent replacement, but clearly he hasn't really flourished in terms of his position and where Kyle Walker was really. In terms of the rest of them, Arsenal are meant to be signing somebody tomorrow.
Well, yeah, the
We'll just have to see.
Paul Easter thing we're waiting on. That's why we said a few minutes ago we're not really mentioning the Paul Easter deal because it's not done yet. And hey, we only deal in done deals.
Well, all the done deals pretty much have shown where clubs are at the moment. In terms of if you look at the situation with Frank Lampard, I still believe he's a New York player. Even though it's probably come out that
he will be in July.
He's still a New York player. If
Jamie.
he wanted to sign for Manchester City, then he would have signed for Manchester City.
Jamie.
in the summer.
Jamie.
He didn't sign for him. He didn't sign for Manchester City. He signed for New York City.
We went over. We went over that last week, so we've already kind of covered that in
this
detail.
Is the thing, I'm not going over it.
But Gman had
in terms of the done deals. I'm not going over it. I'm just saying in terms of the done deals, it's another deal that seems a bit shifty to me.
Leaving that aside, the deals that what about the other deals that we're talking about? So what? So Kyle Norton, Fabian Delph, Martin Odegaard, and the Bebe thing. What did you think of those?
Has Fabian Delph moved?
He signed a new deal. He signed a new contract
with Aston Villa, right?
Yeah, new 4.5-year deal.
Oh, and it's not really a done deal. It's just another contract signing. To me, that's what it means. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's not a done deal. It's just a contract signing. Somebody moves from club to club. That's your definition of it. But all right, Dave May, you wanted to jump in as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to come in on the Fabian Delph contract signing and also the Odegaard to Real Madrid. That lad that's gone to Real Madrid, his wage, I know we're talking 80 grand or £80,000 or 80,000 euro, whatever it is a week. That's not all going to him. There's a breakdown on those wages as far as I'm aware. He's only getting 10 a week and there's agents involved and also his parents are getting paid. It's a package together. He doesn't gather the 80 grand himself. It's spread out over a few different people. Fabian Delph is a superb signing for Aston Villa, but I think if Liverpool come sniffing in the summer, he'll be off.
That's an interesting one on Delph because, as I said, Delph has been very much. He's been linked to us by the parasitic media a lot, and it's like, okay, where the hell did this link come from? It's as a Gerrard replacement. That's what people are saying. That's what people are saying in terms of Delph, but. Coming back to the Odegaard deal, it's like this is one thing that makes me a little iffy about these kind of deals, where obviously Dave May, you mentioned about that 80 grand being a week being spread around a few people. It's kind of like a lot of different people have got their fingers in the pie, and I don't know, when it comes to youngsters involved in these deals, it always unsettles me a bit. It always kind of like, because then you think to yourself, all right, did the kid really want to move at this time, or has that been forced through by external factors? So,
I agree with you in the sense of growing up as a child. You know, it's a huge big decision for that child to make. At 16 years of age, I think he is, or 15 years of age.
16, yeah.
You know, look, had he got the mentality to make the move, or as you say, has someone made the move for him, i.e. his father? But at the end of the day, the young fella's promising from what I can hear, and I have a few contacts around Norway as well. He's actually quite a promising young kid. But the whole thing of moving country at that age, I would totally agree with what you're saying.